Okay, in this section, we're going to talk about technology and history. So, often the study of history is one of wars and kings, as history is usually presented from a political viewpoint. The information in most history textbooks focuses on who was in power and the wars fought to solidify that power. But there's another way to view history, and it's through technological history. So this type of history describes how people have lived and attempted to cope with the natural world throughout the course of time. Technological history looks at the types of homes in which people lived. This history describes how humans have transported themselves and their belongings. This type of history explains how people have grown and how they have preserved food. Technological history also presents the communication systems that people have used and the way in which they have made common utensils and tools. So this view of history accepts that people have always wanted to live better lives. Early humans lived in caves and had crude shelters. They gathered fruits and berries or killed game for food. And these people had harsh and unpredictable lives. They had to move whenever food became scarce. To help live more efficiently, they developed crude tools. So to make weapons, these early people tied sharp stones to sticks. And these new tools allowed them to become better hunters. The people then tanned animal hides and made crude clothing for themselves. They sewed these garments together using bones for needles and tendons for thread. The early humans also developed stone axes and hammers, allowing them to make better houses. And so, that being said, early humans lived in caves, gathered fruits, and hunted for food, and then they developed crude tools. Now, let's look at more advanced civilizations. As civilizations advanced, people started to grow and harvest plants. This allowed them to have more reliable sources of food, so they no longer had to move constantly. They selected tree limbs with certain shapes that could be used as digging sticks. There were some early plows that they made using tree limbs that allowed them to till the soil. So agriculture was born. With the plow and other early farming tools, the foundation for modern civilization was set. Every civilization, you have to provide a way for people to be able to eat. So people could gather in villages and then they could cultivate nearby land. Without the ability to grow large amounts of food in one place, concentrated population centers would have been impossible. You couldn't have had small towns and then larger cities. The development of tools to gather and harvest crops followed the invention of the plow. So later, irrigation was developed along large rivers in ancient Egypt and then other areas. Water dams were built. Ditches were dug. Simple devices to raise the water from one level to another had to be developed. And then irrigation projects were some of the first engineered works that people built. The knowledge used in these projects was applied to other building projects, such as the pyramids. The skills and the knowledge developed for one project was applied to other projects. Each new project allowed people to develop more skills and knowledge. The process of applying old knowledge and skills while developing new knowledge and skills is a characteristic of technology. Okay, this is true because technology is a product of the human mind. Technology involves the engineering spirit, and it is a result of human ambition, vision, and control. People have developed all forms of technology to meet the needs and wants of other people. These developments are the result of human need and the ability to be creative. Creativity and innovation allows us to generate new products and systems to make life easier. So, thinking about this, how have tools and machines changed the way that people have farmed over the years? I want you to think about this, discuss it with your group, and then I will call on a couple of tables to get your answers in just a few minutes.